I decided to do a review on this stove I got from Tractor Supply Company. As you can see, this is the medium-sized stove. And I bought it back in October of 2012, and at that time I paid $4.99 for it. And as you can see, it has a pedestal, and initially I used it in the basement and determined that I couldn't get enough heat upstairs. So I decided to cut the base off and use it as an insert in my fireplace, which worked out perfectly. I did all the measurements and it all worked out fine. The only benefit to the base obviously is it raises it up and it provides an ash pan. Otherwise, this is something you might be able to do with yours if you decide to have a fireplace insert. But by doing so, I've gotten enough heat now that I can heat the whole house, the upstairs, the living area, the way it should have been. But trying to heat from the basement doesn't work. And this stove came with a blower, which was attached to the back, but I've now got it, as you can see, down here, and it's blowing air down the side and around the back and up the top of the stove. So it blows all the hot air out of the chimney box, the fireplace box. But it's just sitting there on the floor. It works great like that. As far as the stove itself, I couldn't be happier. I grew up with old wood stoves my father used to get, and they just don't compare to the new ones. This has no draft, no barometric draft or anything. All it has is this vent, single vent, but the air goes up in the back, across the top, and down in front of the glass. And watch how you can see how quickly the fire responds to the draft. That's closed. That's closed completely, and that's how I run it 99% of the time. Once the fire is going, I just shut it down on low, and I get a great fire. And I'll open it up and you can see the instant reaction. If I left it open, I'd probably melt down the stove. Works very well. And the glass stays clean. It burns so clean. That's the second part of this video, and that is the fuel blocks. The fuel blocks that Tractor Supply sells. This one here I've been getting. This is the one I've gotten most of. I went and bought more yesterday, and they also had these smaller ones, which come in a package of 6. And those are the ones that seem to be advertised on their website. But when I go to my store, they have these in stock, and there's 3 of these in a pack. And I prefer these. These are bigger. They seem to be a little denser, and I think it's a finer sawdust, and they burn longer. If I leave here in the morning at 6:15 in the morning, and I place 3 of these in the firebox and set it on low, and I come home around 5:30, I still have enough ash to throw in a few more and get it going again, no problem at all. So it keeps the temperature reasonable during the day, and then when I get home I can crank it up again. They cost more than cordwood. They're usually on sale, $3 for a pack, so you get it's $1 per block, which isn't exactly cheap, but I view it's not just about money. The other issue is emptying ashes. I tried burning cordwood, which burnt fine, but it generates so much ash so quickly that I'd have to empty it probably every other day, which I like to keep the fire going constantly. So to empty them every day, you got to bank the ashes. You got to try and clean around so you're not, I've got a metal can and everything. I can put the hot ashes in it, but when you do, the dust goes flying everywhere. It makes a mess. So for that reason, And these are more efficient, I think. They burn longer and hotter and cleaner. There's like no creosote. You can see the flames. Mostly blue flames, orange flames, but it burns really, really clean. So yeah, we pay more, but they're clean, they're easy to store, easy to stack. The equivalent of cordwood I could put on one wall, taking up about 2 feet by 8 feet max. So I think the benefits outweigh the cost. So I'm happy with them. I don't think I'll be using cordwood. I'm going to spend a little more, but that's alright. I get a consistent fire. Every time it's the same fire. I don't have to think about the quality of the wood. It's always the same. So that's pretty much my review. All I can say is this is probably as good a value as you can get anywhere. At the time I paid $4.99 for this stove. It's now end of December and they want $5.49, and that's on sale from $5.99. So I get lucky buying it early, I guess. But I couldn't be happier.